Hi, my name is Eliezer Castaneda, and welcome to part 2 of how to get out of debt as quickly as possible. Before we get started, if you have not watched part 1 of this series, I recommend that you go back and you watch that video so that you don't miss out on the 3 important steps that we discussed before you begin your debt-free journey. Also, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the page, and turn on your notifications so that you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. In today's video, we're going to walk through how to create a zero-based budget, and we will be discussing 5 important goals that you will need to accomplish if you want to get out of debt as quickly as possible. The first goal that you want to accomplish is to write down all of your debts. I recommend that you grab a piece of paper or you open a Word or Excel document and you list every single debt that you have. It's very important that you don't guess. If you're not sure of how much you owe, log into all of your accounts and write down the exact amount that you owe. In this list, you must include every single debt that you have, including credit cards, student loans, auto loans, personal loans, any type of debt that is taking money away from you in the form of monthly payments except for your mortgage. After writing down all of your debts, it's important that you organize them from smallest to largest. I challenge you to add them up, and I guarantee you that the total number will shock you. Now, the reason why I challenged you to add all of your debts at the end is so that you can have a reality check of exactly how deep in debt you are. You would be surprised to know that most people think they know how much debt they have, but in reality, they have no idea how deep in debt they truly are. Now that you've listed and organized all of your debts, you can move on to goal number 2, which is to begin a zero-based budget. In case you're not familiar with a zero-based budget is when all of your income minus your expenses equals to 0. For the remainder of this video, we're going to be using Max as our example, and we're going to help him build a zero-based budget. Max has a monthly income of $4,000. Using the zero-based budget, everything that Max gives, saves, or spends should equal $4,000 at the end of the month. This method of budgeting means that every single dollar has a job, a purpose, and a goal. Also, this type of budget helps you to prevent any unnecessary spending and allows you to take back control of your money. As we mentioned previously, Max has a monthly income of $4,000. This means that in our zero-based budget, Max will need to put a job, a purpose, and a goal to each of the $4,000 that he will receive that month. In Max's zero-based budget, we will start by listing all of the necessities at the very top. Max pays $1,500 for rent, bills and utilities are $220, he pays $130 for car insurance, his phone bill is $150, he's averaging about $400 in groceries, he spends roughly $200 every month in dining out, roughly $50 in personal products and home supplies, and he spends about $150 in gas every month. If we subtract all of Max's expenses from his $4,000 a month income, he will have a total of $1,200 left at the end of the month. If Max had no consumer debt and was very disciplined with his budget, he would have a total of $1,200 at the end of each month, which he could use towards saving for his down payment, retirement, investments, and yes, some spending money. However, Max is drowning in consumer debt. He is living paycheck to paycheck with an overwhelming debt of $57,300. He is paying a combined amount of $1,245 in minimum payments to all of his debts, and he is tired of living his life full of debt. After living paycheck to paycheck for so long, Max decides to change his lifestyle and to live below his means so that he can get out of debt as quickly as possible. In Max's zero-based budget, he begins by listing all of his debts from smallest to largest. The first debt that Max writes down in his zero-based budget is a $900 credit card balance, which he is paying $55 in monthly minimum payments. The second credit card has an outstanding balance of $1,400 with $80 as the minimum payment. The third credit card has an outstanding balance of $3,700 with a required minimum payment of $130 every month. And the fourth credit card has an outstanding balance of $5,300 with a minimum payment requirement of $180 per month. Max also has a student loan debt with a remaining balance of $18,000, which he is paying $250 every month. And he has a shiny brand new car with an outstanding balance of $28,000 and $550 a month in minimum payments. I bet you that car Max is driving and everything that he bought on credit cards feels a lot different now, knowing that he is drowning to keep up with all of those monthly payments. Max has a total of $1,245 leaving his pocket in the form of monthly payments every single month. As Max continues to drown more and more in debt, he decides to change his lifestyle and to live below his means so that he can get out of debt as quickly as possible and begins his debt-free journey. He begins by working hard to accomplish goal number 3, which is to save $1,000 as a starter emergency fund. This $1,000 starter emergency fund is there to help you get through any sort of emergency you may have during your debt-free journey. For example, if you get a flat tire on your way to work, you can use the $1,000 emergency fund to help you pay for the repairs so that you don't have to dive back into debt in order to cover for that emergency. I understand that saving $1,000 can be very challenging to those that are struggling financially, but you must do whatever you can in your power to be intentional and determined to accomplish this $1,000 goal. Now, if you already have more than $1,000 saved and you have a ton of debt to pay off, I recommend that you only keep $1,000 in your emergency fund and you use the remaining amount that you have in your savings to pay down your debts. Max has become very determined and intentional about getting out of debt. Max begins by shaving off a little bit more from his essential budget. He finds cheaper car insurance for $110 every month. He switches his phone plan and now pays $90 a month. He decides not to dine out and saves $200 every month in doing so. He also decides to bring down his home supplies and personal products down to $20 a month. Not only does he begin to shave off some of the unnecessary expenses he had written down in his budget, but he also goes out on the weekends and he's doing side hustles, he's selling things online, he's doing everything that he can to increase his monthly income, and now it's bringing in about $1,000 additional every single month. With everything that Max is doing, including his side hustles, working longer hours, and shaving off a little bit more from his essential budget, he now has $1,265 that he will be able to use to build his starter emergency fund and to also pay down his debts. Max also starts goal number 4, which is to begin your debt snowball. Now, the debt snowball is very simple. You're gonna use the list of debts that you wrote down and organized in goal number 1, and you're gonna pay off the smallest amount first, regardless of the interest rates on all the other debts. What this means is that you're gonna use the remaining amount in your zero-based budget to attack the smallest debt first. After paying off the smallest debt first, this will create momentum and it will motivate you to continue to pay off the second debt, the third debt, the fourth debt, so on until you are completely debt-free. After Max has completely funded his $1,000 starter emergency fund, that $900 credit card balance is now completely paid off on his first month because he has $1,265 to work with. Not only did he pay off his first credit card in the first month, but he was also able to move the remaining amount of $365 to roll over to debt number 2, which was a balance of $1,400. On the second month that Max is attacking his debt, he not only has $1,265 to work with, but now has that additional $55 that he would have been paying in minimum payments to the first debt that he can roll over and attack the second debt. Also, his second credit card was already paid off by $365 from the previous month. This brought down the total balance of his second credit card to $1,035. On the second month, Max has a remaining income of $1,265 plus the additional $55 that he would have been paying in the minimum payment of the first credit card that he's able to attack the entire amount of the second credit card with. This means that in just 2 months of hard work, living below your means, and determination, Max has been able to pay off his first 2 credit cards. Month by month, his debt snowball continues to roll and to grow more and more. Now remember that as you pay off the smallest debts first, you will need to also be including all of those minimum payments that you would have made onto your budget so that you can have a bigger snowball to attack the following debt. Now on the third month, Max has $1,400 available that he will be able to use towards paying down his third credit card. Now the remaining balance of this debt, it's a little bit bigger, so it will take Max about 3 months to pay off that $3,700 balance. By the end of the 5th month, Max has been able to pay off that third credit card and can now move to attack his bigger $5,300 balance of his 4th credit card. Max has continued to work very hard and to be determined and intentional in paying off his debts. By the end of the 8th month, Max has completely paid off his 4th debt, meaning that in 8 months, he has paid off a complete balance of $11,300 of debts. After seeing what just 8 months of determination and intentionality can do, Max continues to work the zero debt budget and to allocate all the money possible to grow his debt snowball and pay off his student loan and ultimately move on to his auto loan. By sticking to his zero-based budget and not falling back into more debt, Max will be able to pay off his debt in 18 to 24 months. I understand that living on a budget for 2 years can seem like a very long time, but I guarantee you that those 2 years are going to pass regardless if you pay off your debt or if you continue to live paycheck to paycheck. The decision is yours. Now the 5th and final goal is to change your lifestyle. This means that for a few months of your life, you will delay gratification and you will work hard so that you can set yourself up financially for the rest of your life. This implies that for a very short period of time in your life, you will need to live below your means, you will need to stick to your zero-based budget so that you can live a life debt-free, building wealth, and thrive financially. I hope that you enjoyed this video and that it inspired you to begin your debt-free journey. Feel free to go back to the beginning of the video and write down the 5 goals that you need to accomplish. And you can also follow the example that we created with Max so that you too can begin your debt-free journey and live a life debt-free. If you have enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button so that it can help with the YouTube algorithms and to subscribe to the page so that you don't miss out on any upcoming content. Thanks for watching.